When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, Big Beat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
Good morning, everybody. Howard's on vacation this week, and we're taking over the morning shows here like this. And let's be honest, we're right back at it. We've talked about this for a long time, that the taco trades are on, and very simple. When he pulls back, the opposite happens, and there we go. This morning, we heard that Trump said that Iran had good talks, and oil dropped. He also paused the bombings of strategic places. Now, he called in the oil places now. Okay, that's great, but I think the whole thing cannot just be about oil. There's also democracy and progress here, according to him, and we should change. And then, of course, you hear the foreign minister and, of course, the new Ayatollah saying that was not true, that have not had talks. That is completely untrue. So we're not really sure. But what you did see in the markets, very simply this morning, was exactly how much paper is out there. You saw exactly how many shorts were on the market. Excuse me. You saw how many longs were in the market in oil and how many shorts were in the markets in general, the stock market, equity markets. And right there, you saw it right plainly in your face. Oil now down 10%. So, is this buy the dip on oil? Absolutely freaking not. I mean, I would definitely not be doing that. You're now seeing oil companies, they had literally dumped all the oil they had, or trying to dump as much as they can onto the market. They have it, right? Is it whether or not the Strait of Hormuz opens or not? Of course it is. But only 20% of oil goes through the Strait. And guess what? We've already done all that. So this actually is pretty good for the United States. We could be an exporter even farther along the corners and actually be able to send out oil and not get to go to the Strait, right? We can literally send it straight from the Gulf or the opposite direction if we're going to go through and send it out via the pipelines, trying to get it out to Los Angeles on the West Coast side of it too as well, to go to Asia, right? That's what we talked about a lot. So that's where we are right now. Look, I get it. I know what people are thinking right now. What do I do? And look, it's very simple. It's good or bad, up or down, it doesn't matter. But volatility is the question, right? And we're seeing that now. I don't know how else to put it, right? The Dow futures now up 2% on the day here. We're also seeing Bitcoin back up to over 70,000, closer to 71,000 here. So everything that we've talked about is online. So well done, and I definitely like this. So yeah, I think everybody should be happy if you've been long here, and I think that's pretty good. So yeah, all right. Any questions out there? Saying hello. Come on, bring it out here. I'll quickly answer your questions. I think a lot of people are going to be asking me about the markets in general, so I'm happy about that. Let's get to it. Let me see if I can't. Yeah. All right. I'm going to pull up some charts today. So I know everybody wants to talk about charts. And I think charts are very important today, because when you have that much derivatives ripping off of your charts, I think now you need to get to see where those things are. And I've mentioned this several times. Look, your charts don't mean anything when it comes to tweets, right? But now it kind of does. And I have pulled up a WTI oil chart here on the 1 hour over the spot oil. I think that it's what a lot of wanted to see as oil went above the 100 handle. And you saw where the sellers were, where the producers were really selling their oil. It was right around 102 this morning. That's pretty high, folks. I mean, I know the oil got to 120, 150 back in the day, but that took a war to get there. Now, are we in a war? Yeah, but is it a normal war? No. So you're now seeing where the bottoms have started, where the spikes have turned around, and you're starting to see where the dojis are happening, right? Okay, yeah, there's a doji. So why is this important? Well, now you kind of figure out where that oil is. Now, when you saw the spike to the downside, the big sell-off, it got all the way down into $84 a barrel. So now we're back to about what, $91 a barrel. There are people trying to buy it back. I don't know why, but that tells you exactly why, because the derivatives, and they're making a mistake again. every time the president says something good, oil is going to go right back down. I mean, why would you want to be in that mess? And thankfully, I'm short oil, and today is a beautiful day. I'm ultra short oil, so I'm smiling all the way to the bank today. And I'm, I'm sorry that this is the way that it is, but this is the way that it is for a lot of people. They just missed they've missed the boat, and now they're trying to catch up again, and they're thinking that that's where it's at. And I'm looking at WTI on several different charts, and we saw it literally on Friday, trying to seep back. There we go, right back below. Spot is now under $90 again, right? We're just looking at spot here at 91 on the XTI. So I'll pull up XTI itself, under $90 handle here. So this is exactly where I think. Whereas you look at my numbers for the other day. Look at the line I put in there. As soon as that was broken, the next bar down on the hour fell off, right? And that meant nothing about charts. It meant everything with tweets. That volume was not your charts. It was news. It was president speaking, right? So that's the kind of things that we have to watch out for. Bitcoin, here we go again, right? Also seeing the same thing. Understandable here. So it's exactly what's going on. So those of you out there watching it live, well, thank you. Appreciate what's going on here. That's good. And I like this. I like what I see here. I'm starting to feel like that. I think normality, shall we say, is coming back into the markets here. So feeling pretty good here. There we go. There you go. And there you go. Excellent. All right, let's get in there. Give me some names of companies you want to look at today. I'll tell you one that I am looking at today very, very closely here. I'll pull it up for you. That's FedEx. Stephen Moran, Fed governor, trying to be chairman, along with Kevin Warsh, says that oil is not affecting stock prices, or that he can't see that it's affecting stock prices. What? Okay, wrong. Because we know the Dow theory is in full boat, right? We know that, and we can see it. Here it is, right? Soon as you see this dip, right, on FedEx. Why? Because higher prices on gasoline and diesel affects FedEx. So all of a sudden, when that price comes off, we know where price discovery is, right? We know where those are, right? Right? That we popped off. So I don't really know what Moran is talking about, to be honest with you. Maybe he's talking about prices of no, he said equity prices, so I don't know. He's gonna have to maybe clarify what he was talking about, or admit he's wrong. I don't know what else to say. But here we go. Another one, and we've talked about this a million times. Royal Caribbean, right, is totally affected by prices of oil, and of course, in their case, diesel. And you know where the buyers and the sellers are, right? And look at that. Look at the heavy buyers this morning. So I'm gonna switch it up to a 3-minute chart so that we understand now where everybody is this morning. All right, there we are. So for me, I am looking at these numbers. Oops. On a 3-minute chart, we know where the price is going. Its price discovery has happened, but we're already up almost 5% here. And that's about what Royal Caribbean does. 4 or 5%. WTI now 89.27 now a barrel, 89.29 a barrel. So you're getting a pretty good idea of what happens when those derivatives get pulled off. And of course, over the weekend, what else did we see? Good old gold. Good old gold. Let me pull up gold here for you. But gold is our protector. Gold is what defends our portfolio. Oops, not really. You're seeing it right now. Look at that, and we see where all of that derivatives were, right? All those people who have been buying gold, thinking the world's going to go, hell in a handbasket. Look at this, 55, 57. Look at this, boom. Look at that, went to $4,000 an ounce. Now you got 10% on the $4,000 an ounce. So whoever bought it there now has made 10% of the money. Or if you left it alone, you didn't make any, right? So this is why you need to learn to take advantage of these positions, because when it got too high and you were given the sell signals, not once, twice, or 3 times, you should be looking at it, right? And that's what's happening over the weekend. And now we're seeing it now in full time. Oil still dropping here now, by the way, folks. Yeah. And of course, we've been talking about MongoDB, same situation, AI, back end. There it is. There it is. I mean, it's telling you right where the markets are. But AI has to stop. The choppiness index pushing up. We know what happens when the choppiness index pushes up, correct? Amazon, same situation. Are they stopping to buying things on Amazon? No. So what are they doing? Well, they are looking at the markets and they're saying, okay, where can I buy? Oil does affect Amazon, right? We know that. I drew these lines how long ago? There they are. It's a daily chart. Lines are still there. They're still respecting those lines. But it wasn't what turned it around. It was still the news. That is what we're talking about. Unity Software, you can see here as well. The other day, I did the same thing. I drew these lines here in the daily chart. I'm going to pull up an hour chart. Unity Software, we all know what Unity Software does. If you play games, you know that you see Unity on almost every game now that comes out. Look at that. We knew where the buyers were, and now they're there. Now the stock's up. Robinhood, all the companies that I've been talking about. Eli Lilly, look at that. AVGO, Broadcom. Why? We're going to stop buying phones? Nope, we're not. Why? Well, Apple's changing their tune a little bit. Yep, they are. Broadcom still has a very large contract. So there we go. Crazy, isn't it? 420. Now you can buy it at 320. Pull up the chart. Look at this. That's how much of a pullback we've seen. Oh, well, there's linear regression. We're on a daily chart. I get linear regression. I understand it. That's usually mostly for hourly charts to help people sometimes. I understand that. And there's where we are. So, but let's get past linear regression. Linear regression is for starters, right? If you're starting up, it's a great place because it helps you get a good view of it. But now we're no longer starting. We're no longer starting in positions anymore. We're now a little bit more into the markets. We know how charting works. And I want to pull up something that I've been watching, right? One of my favorite stocks, and I think they're going to do very well, is CRISPR. There's your buy signal on CRISPR. We're at the bottom of linear regression. Great. If that helps you, great. But choppiness index, look at this, at the very, very low. That means it's not being choppy anymore. The buyers and sellers are not going crazy anymore. It's one-sided. Well, which side was it on? It was on the sell side. See here? Look at the volume here on the sell side. Now the volume is turning around. The choppiness has stopped. See? Chop. Arun. Down. All of it that we've been talking about. MACD, RSI. All of it. And the turn. The MACD is turning. So that's how I get a better, cleaner picture of the markets than I do just one piece, one technical analysis. I have several. On top of this, I have volume. I've got weight. How many do I have on here? About 30. Right? It's not about one thing. Because why if you have just one thing on your chart? It's not going to confuse you. It's going to simplify it for you. I get that. But it doesn't give you a clear, cleaner picture, an overview of other things. Now, what I want is I want everything to line up. That makes it an even clearer picture for me to say, okay, I want to buy here. So yes, I am going to buy here. Now, on top of the fact that the stock's at $46, on top of choppiness index, Arun, MACD, RSI, all of the things that it showed you, the news a few days ago came out, said that the target of CRISPR has been raised to 110. What? Why? Because CRISPR makes biological products, right? Look at this. This is why. That would be 110. And I see it there. Why? Because they have products coming out, right? It's CRISPR. So if you're looking for biotech and you like biotechs, I like this one. I've liked it since the beginning. I still like it. And you get a monthly chart here, right? I'm flip a weekly chart. Same situation. Choppiness in the weekly is up, but the daily chart, it is way down. CRISPR. And I will put that stock symbol right in the thing. There you go. Brian Sazi says that JP Morgan is saying that looking at all past episodes of oil spiking 50% over the following 20 minutes. I'll pull this up. There you go. It was a few hours back, but it's still the same there. Yeah. Interesting. Here again, reports that Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has rejected the U.S. claims that President claims that talks are ongoing with Iran, saying that Trump aims to buy time for U.S. military plans and reduce energy prices. That's from CNBC staff here. Pull that up for you right now. So once again, they are denying that. It should push oil up a little bit here, but I'm not really sure exactly what's happening here on this because I just don't think that's the case. It could be. Fed's Goolsbee now says could see circumstance where we would need to raise rates. Ouch. Not sure that that's a good idea in the midst of war, but here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bring him in here. Our friend, your friend, and the guy that talks about and knows about Forex, Steve Flanagan. Over the weekend, I got to go out and hang out a little bit, and I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit of a celebrity now. I don't know, I've been shaking hands and taking pictures, but see, the question I got asked a lot was about Forex. From people that don't normally trade Forex, all of a sudden are interested in trading Forex. Explain to me why now, because Forex isn't usually the entrance to trading, right? And for new traders, I'm hearing all the time they want to trade Forex. So explain to me why you think that Forex trading is very popular amongst new traders.
Because you have access to the market all the time. Doesn't matter. Wake up in the morning, you can go right in. There's good liquidity. You can trade the market all night long. And that's the key, where to trade stocks at the moment, which will change in the future, but at the moment, you have to have margin, and you need margin in FX as well. But the fact is that the currency market, $9.6 trillion trades in one day. And maybe, Steve, our message is getting through that money moves first. And it is an important barometer to keep when you're making trading decisions, because let's just look at what happened on this announcement. I mean, the euro dollar moved 100 points, one big figure we refer to that as. Dollar yen, of course, another big mover with this news that the war seems to be, or at least some of the bombing is being postponed for 5 days. And I think that's the most important part of currency trading. It oversees all the other markets. In other words, each country has real estate, money markets, equities, bonds. But in order to get into each country, you have to come through the FX market. And there's so much more that goes into a decision, but also currencies will tend to trend, and they are great hedging mechanisms. Like, as soon as I saw that news, I sold dollar yen because I want to hold on to the yen, given the fact that it's a safe haven currency, but also because of the warnings from the Ministry of Finance about excessive speculation in the dollar yen. So, that's why currencies are so active, and more people want to get into it.
Yeah, and so talk to me a little bit about how are they getting into the markets on FX? Are they trading derivatives off of it? What are they doing? I mean, To me, it seems a little wonky that, and I love it. I love that people are getting into forex. Don't be wrong, but it's not, doesn't seem like the normal positioning for young people. Oh, I can't wait to trade forex and saying forex, right? Oh, wow, hey, I like that, right? I mean, for me and you, we love that side of it. But it just seems like the Robinhood, Z-Trade, so much easier to just buy stock and play with Apple stock or play with this. Here's a few stocks for you to play with and enjoy this. The weekend I helped people, I took their phone from them and helped them type in things and get it started and what they loved. And that's how I, talked to them about it. But then it became all about Forex. Hey, how do I trade dollar yen? What? Okay, let's go. It was exciting, right? But what would you advise them on, like getting a free account somewhere, or what would you tell them to do the first thing to do in Forex trading?
Well, in order to trade Forex, you're going to have to put money down, right?
Right.
So you have to have money in, and then it'll allow a certain margin that you can trade. Keep in mind, in order to trade currencies and make money, you've got to trade larger amounts. And when you trade larger amounts, again, with 9.6 trillion, and the currency market is the fulcrum underneath of the entire financial market to maintain balance, you can get wiped out of a position in a heartbeat. And again, go to a 1 minute chart, look about when the president's tweet came out, and look how the euro dollar traded. Were you going to be able to get out of a bad trade there? No, you were going to lose 100 points, which would perhaps wipe out a lot of people in the margin area. So, yeah, Steve, you know what? If I was beginning trading, while currencies is the ultimate of the trading mechanisms because of its depth and size, I would keep your style into something that's closer to home and in the stock market, something that you have more control of, but when you begin to look at the world as we do, as a more macro type of view, currencies are exciting, and there's no question, because they are always moving.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people don't really understand that it's margin, on Forex, and that's why it kind of threw me for a loop. Like, wow, okay, new traders that have that kind of cash. All right, let's get to it, Steve. You've said it all along. The minute the president says something positive, markets will move right along with it. The president this morning said, and look, I asked over the weekend, am I being too political on the show? And everybody said the same thing. No way. You're saying it exactly as it is. And that came from Republicans and Democrats saying this, that, look, the balance, right? So, Steve, the president said this morning that he had good talks with Iran. He's not going to bomb Iran for 5 days, especially not the oil sites. And oil foreign minister, and now the Ayatollah, the new Ayatollah, the son of the one that died, is now saying the same thing, that no, this isn't true. We've had no talks, no indirect or direct talks. Yet the markets really haven't bounced too hard, which tells me how much derivatives were actually on in paper that was on the markets, right? It kind of sneaked them out. Or as Warren Buffett would say, when the tide goes out, you get to see who's swimming naked. Talk to me, Steve. What's going on here in the Middle East? Should we still be worried about it or not now?
Absolutely, we should still be worried about it. I was expecting the Iranian news agency to come out and say we have had no contact. I guess the question should be asked is, who are we having contact with?
Right.
And as we've talked last week, I think they're just waiting for the Iranian National Guard, the Revolutionary Guard, to be put to bay. And I think the people will rise up and take over their government. And I think that's the group that there is talks with. And I think that that's where we should be looking for the coordination. So I would be keeping my eyes pinned for the massive protests to suddenly surge. And, you've got Marines there, you've got helicopters, you've got the A-10s, all for close support. So I would say, venturing my guess, there have been talks, but probably not with the people in power that will soon be gone.
Yeah, I think about it from the perspective of who they need to talk to, and it's got to be The Hague, right? All right, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to bring back in the. There we go. Okay, charts QQQ. We've got about 5 minutes now to the open. Steve, you playing anything? You doing anything this morning? Dixie here or what?
What I did was I took off some of the volatility hedge that I had on because with 5 days of nothing happen, what does that mean? We're probably not going to get a lot of tweets regarding the war, and this is damaged and that is damaged. So perhaps this could be a quieter week, maybe. So I took off some of my volatility hedge. As far as my stock positions, I am maintaining, my full position. I haven't taken anything off. I do believe that we're much closer to the end than we are at the beginning. And I am looking, for this April period to be a very positive environment to the market.
I agree. Okay. Yes.
What I would respond to is all the comments. I saw Goolsby. Inflation now seems to be a great risk. I saw the ECB officials. They're pricing in rate rises. You know what? Here's what I'm going to say, Steve. Very simple. I, for one, am going to hold them accountable for the next 4 months as to inflation.
How?
And if inflation does not pick up, as they said, I am going to be all over them because they are so fearful of missing inflation 2-3 years ago that now at the smell of smoke, they're talking about no rate cuts and maybe we're pricing in rate rises. This is like ludicrous given the backdrop of no employment growth. Them saying that the payrolls numbers are really not showing much weakness. Hello, look at the last year. Every single month was revised to a growth of 15,000. This is unheard of in the U.S. in an expansionary period. And we look at last month being negative. I'm just so besides myself as to what the heck they are so spooked by inflation goes.
And I'm just looking at the Wall Street Journal, the article this morning from Nick Timiraos saying that the Fed's most awkward leadership transition is coming. You think that they're positioning for Kevin Warsh? You think that's what's happening here?
I think that people are saying, yes, Steve, I do. And I think that I think April, May is going to be a night and day Fed. I don't necessarily think they're going to come out slamming interest rates lower, but I do think you're going to see a more Fed friendly to the economy and to the American citizens in recognizing the transition of AI, the job losses that we've seen. I think you're going to see a much more friendly, domestically focused Fed.
Gotcha. All right, we got about 1 minute now to open here. What are you thinking here? You think we go higher or lower?
Honestly, you're going to start off in a positive mode, and then we're going to be, probably treading water. How long can the market hold is really a question of how short is the market.
Yeah.
People that are short are going to be buying dips, no doubt about it, and lightening up, not necessarily taking it off, because this is not over by any stretch of the imagination. So,
yeah, and we're already seeing some slipping already now in the Qs.
You have a favorite out there? Your Royal Caribbean, that should be doing well.
Yeah, it's doing very well this morning. The market are open now. All the markets are open. Bitcoin holding fairly steady here. Oil WTI now 1973. Obviously gold $4,400 an ounce, 44.14, 44.09 now. And the Dixie, the dollar now 99.36 here, Steve. Bitcoin slipping just a wee bit, but not much of a move here. Okay, yeah, we are seeing Qs now slipping again, as the opposite always happens on the open because people are trying to get out the retail that could not get in here. Now Royal Caribbean up 5% here. We talked about that this morning. FedEx up 2% here.
So I'd watch the dollar carefully. If the dollar holds here, that would be, probably a negative on the equity market. I expect the dollar to trade down. I do think we're going to see, a 98 handle. I'd like to see it around 98, 30, 50 so I could reestablish my longs. But a dollar that begins to come off means that the globe is taking off the safe haven. The dollar has acted as the safe haven to the Middle East. So that's how I watch the dollar versus equities.
Gotcha. Understandable. Yeah, I can see that now. Steve, it just looks like the tick is now positive by 300. It's kind of quiet here.
Because we're waiting for confirmation.
You literally got out of my mouth. Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is good news, great news, but everybody's like, when's the next tweet coming out?
You
Steve,
literally took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, I love it.
What I was shocked at was watching the news about an hour and a half ago as this all started to unfold. And everybody's saying, well, we in the media, this established media, we didn't know that there were negotiations going on. So
Right.
Who could they be meeting with? I mean, I had to laugh. Like, this is war. What do you think they're going to check with the news media first that we're meeting? Of course we're meeting with Iran. Nobody wants war, but we have to make a point. We can't. I mean, it's just to listen to the bobbleheads out there going on about that, well, Trump is backing off and this and that, and giving more credibility to the Iranian news agency. It's just baffling. It really is. And it's noise pollution to us who want to trade.
Palo Alto Network's now flat on the day here, PANW. Interesting. You would think, these kind of stocks here would be doing well. PLTR, we know that Palantir got the big contracts over the weekend. They're now the government's defense, at least. We can see that they're up 3.6%. But still, they're not quite back to where they had pushed all the way up. But there's the hourly charts, and they are where they are now. 70,727 now in Bitcoin.
The worst of all scenarios right now: fear, greed, and hope are dominating trading, and you couldn't have a worse, collection of emotions. Those things are just horrible to trade. You've got to be able to put those emotions aside and trade accordingly. And what does that mean? It means that the first salvo is fired, that piece is in the wind. We said it was a 4-week war. We're in the 4th week. I don't know. I'd be maybe beginning to take off some of my negative hedging around the war and beginning to look to the upside. Keeping in mind, earnings that we just went through wasn't a bad earnings season at all.
SMCI now down to almost 3% here, still selling off from the obviously the news about chip smuggling last week. That was a big talk over the weekend. I heard a lot of people going, "Wait, we did what?" I was like, "Yeah, we did." Big chatter over there, right? How about the wait times in Atlanta, the HS? For I got to fly on Wednesday. Luckily not Tampa, but I have, I can go right through all the security. But those people who have not done it, shows whether where DHS is there's a big political fight over it, right? Whether or not we can fund. Democrats are saying Republicans' fault, Republicans are saying it's Democrats' faults.
I'll tell you, without taking a political side here, Chuck Schumer is really putting them in a very bad spot. I get it. Kristi Noem is gone. One of your own senators is taking over.
Right.
I don't know. I think that Chuck Schumer's move here is going to backfire along with the government shutdown. I don't know what the end game is for them. It just doesn't make sense for people that have to travel. They don't have to worry about it. That's for sure. They can fly, but
yeah, and there's not a lot of good feelings towards TSA right now. We've seen that over the last few years, that and And of course, ICE has had a real negative connotation over the last year and a half now. Year, I guess I should just say year. Putting those two together, my goodness. That's not good politically. I think Donald Trump's numbers were 34% approval rating this morning.
It's not good for the people that are running our government,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it doesn't matter what your party is, but I think they need to move quickly. I think the government shutdown that they did was a disaster. I think this is a disaster. I think people are getting fed up with, the way our government works. So the party that shuts it down is the party that's going to really get hurt.
Israeli officials now say we do not see an imminent end to the war. We plan to continue operations while avoiding targeting energy facilities here.
Which means as long as missiles are being fired, they're going to be involved.
Yeah, and you heard from this weekend where China is talking about buying oil from Iran and of course, Russia arming Iran. Is the world splitting apart?
Yeah, I mean, talk is cheap. Let me see what happens when, I want to see a tanker going to China sail right through the straits without a problem. But in saying that, the number of tankers that are sailing through the straits is actually beginning to increase. So still at a very low level. But I would love to see China be more involved in this situation. I would love to see them, say, hey, let's help guarantee the free transit of oil through the Straits of Hormuz.
Bitcoin now back above 71,000 here. As markets seem to be pushing up a little bit, 591 there on the Qs here. I am watching SMCI because I'm looking for a bottom here at some point. There's got to be somewhere. But the Qs now up 1.5%. So the Dow's up about 700 here. We're racing Friday's losses pretty much, and that's about it, right?
Still down on overall with the war.
Of course.
But erasing Friday's, cataclysmic sell-off there at the end of that day. It'd be, Steve, this is going to be a really good one to trade. From a person that's trading in and out, this is a great market.
Is it? I'm sitting on the sidelines, Steve. I don't want to touch this market.
Well, I'm not, I have not day traded in the last 4 or 5 days because
makes sense. Yeah.
Anything I've put on, I've quickly had to take off at a small loss. So, but if you are engaged, watching the prices all over the market, it's a great market because things are moving. I found myself trading currencies early this morning, and I was like, oh, here we go again. I did this for 43 years, in and out, clipping a pip here and a pip there. And I was like, oh, I got to stop.
Oil dropping here now, right around the 90 handle here, WTI spot. And I'm still long, as everybody knows here, on shorting oil here. So I'm very happy about my oil shorts here. I mean, yeah. And I've been doubling down a little bit every once in a while in dollar cost averaging here, which is why, as Steve Flanagan always tells folks, hearing now. Yep, here we go. Steve, here's one for you. Smells like fake news. I was ready to buy today, but we'll have to wait for the next tweet. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been talking about, right, Steve? That's what people are thinking.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Is it fake news? I don't know. Well, the president did say it, so I'm not going to say that's fake news, but he's absolutely right in waiting for more, details, because let's put it this way. If, in fact, the war does end, you've got a long distance to go on the upside. So by jumping in and waiting for that clarification, you're still going to reap a very strong move. To try to bottom pick and get in today, that we're one tweet, one news article away from being just run over back to the downside. So I don't see anything wrong with that comment. I think we're all questioning, is it going to be real? Or is this just another, fake headline? Yeah, I get that. But I think the president's been on 2 shows already today after making the tweet. So he's clearly out there hitting the pavement, trying to make sure that this is going to be a good talking point. Is he worried about the markets? I think so.
Hearing talk about Uranium Energy Company here getting expanded here a little bit. Up 2.63 it's percent. That's UEC. I mean, I think that uranium and nuclear power is literally the future. We're now seeing President Trump now talking from Palm Beach, about to head out on Air Force One. Been there a few times. Both Palm Beach and Air Force One. And then markets are still pushing up here a little bit. So
I'm loving uranium stocks, Steve. It's a good area I like.
I think that there's this is what we're hearing this morning here. I will post what my friend Tracy Schuchart posts. Shy Girl, if you don't know. Hopefully that. There you go. You're welcome, AJ. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to hit the button. There you go. Love Tracy. We'll have her on. We'll have her on the show too as well. She's a busy girl. Tick up 6:30 here.
UEC's another good uranium company. I love that one. I believe that is one of the big domestic producers too.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and I think that's case in point right there. That I think that nuclear energy is the future, in some degrees here, because the president's now saying no windmills, no, he doesn't like solar as much.
I think the area to look into is these small module reactors that several firms have been coming up with. And I don't know how Tennessee, but Tennessee seems to be the hotbed for where a lot of this new technology is looking to, expand.
President is live right now from talking about Air Force One. Palm Beach says that he did talk to Iran last night, and it went very late in the morning, and it's good. Yeah. He did say he did personally talk to them, Steve, and said it again. Oil dropping here now, down 89.20 now barrel. Short oil, yay. 71,200 now on Bitcoin, as the president is reiterating what he said this morning.
I guess the question is, who is he talking to?
Okay, to answer that question, is to the top person in the leadership, phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with a man, so he's talking about the top man. Is the most respected and the leader, It's a little tough. They're wiped out. We've wiped out everybody, is what he's saying. Quote.
So who's left? I guess he's not.
He says we have not heard from the son. So obviously the new Ayatollah.
Okay.
Saying we don't know if he's living or not.
There were reports that he was whisked off to Russia for hospitalization.
Says that he hopes to settle this and we'll get together with Iran probably by phone. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, he's going to be held to his words. That's for sure.
He's now talking about ice agents being deployed around the country now. So understandable, yeah. And I think the ice agents are okay as long as they're helping and they're not being the agent themselves. Then I can see that, there's the diminishment of TSA here.
I've always said, how about ICE release the report? Have there been a few bad cases? Yes, there have been. But are all of these people American citizens that they're taking off? No. The majority are clearly illegal immigrants that are here with arrest warrants.
Yeah.
So they need to come out with that data to offset the other narrative here. But again, how bad is this one? Now you're going to put ICE agents in the airports. Another one that's backfiring on this closure.
Yeah, and it's not looking. I mean, I'm seeing the numbers on Chuck Schumer too as well. It's not good. The Democrats might think about changing out their leadership here come the next election.
Yeah, and I mean, even CNN had the Democrat Jeffries on, and they were really tough on questioning him. Took him off guard as to the closure of TSA and everything. So you can see that. Even friendly media are beginning to get a little bit hostile.
Yeah, once again, Iran's foreign ministry is denying talks of that they're in war talks. So I don't know. I don't. We want no enrichment. We also want the enriched uranium. So the president wants the uranium from Iran, and not giving them the ability not to. We want to see no nuclear bomb or weapon for Iran. I agree with that. I mean, there's no reason for Iran to have a bomb. I mean, there's none. There's no reason for anybody to have the bomb, by the way.
It would be a great world, Steve. You know, underscoring my interest rate talk, Fitch cut New Zealand's outlook now to negative.
Oh.
So now, is New Zealand a major country? Yeah, it is actually. It's part of, it's right there with Australia, a little bit smaller, obviously. But it's an early signal of a little bit of smoke out there that, economies in the world are not doing good. Given that Australia's raised 2 times, I just push back so much on this higher interest rate narrative.
I agree. And is it time to go travel to New Zealand here to Auckland?
That's supposedly a beautiful place. It just takes you a full day to get there.
It does. It takes you a long time to get there. You got to fly into Sydney and then Sydney over. I've done it. But my wife has done it. Okay. SCO, what I've been playing here, now up 11%. So I'm a pretty happy camper here this morning, Steve.
That's nice. Good trade, Steve. You've been on that for the last week and a half or more.
Making sure that people are understanding. Royal Caribbean, we talk about that too as well. RCL, now up almost 6%, Terry. Look at that.
How about airline stocks, Steve? Are they still following up here?
UAL now 4.69%. Now they're probably getting some headwinds because of TSA, right? People are just saying, okay, you know what? And I heard in Atlanta, a third of people missed their flights. That the TSA line is not just around baggage claim; it's now outside the door.
Wow. So who pays for that? I mean, does the airline cover you if you can't get through?
Yeah, good question. Good question. Because legally, there's a law.
I also have some traveling ahead of me here, and I'm like, oh, boy.
Trump just said Israel will be very happy with what we have on Iran and says that we just spoke with Israel a little while ago. So he's on the phone with them right now. Says Trump on Iran talks, says he can't guarantee a deal. That should affect the price here now.
And this is the type of trading, if you're day trading, that you're going to have access to that news wire.
And we do. The Quasar Markets new website, folks, is actually up and running. If you haven't had a chance to see it, please go check it out. We are doing a slow rollout right now, making sure everything works correctly, which it does. And tomorrow will be a bigger day tomorrow, and we'll talk about that tomorrow as well. And I'll put the link out there for you. Tomorrow will be a very big day for Quasar Markets, and we will talk about that on the show tomorrow. But right now, I'll pull up the charts here. And the new Quasar Markets page here is now up and running. You can see that we have financial data, but folks, click on that button. You see Quasar Markets link. Give us your email, and we'll send you out our newsletter every morning. Institutional grade intelligence. It's time to stop playing with the little boys. Time to play. Get the big money out there. Let's go. We have it all ready to go for the new look of the platform. Is super exciting too as well. Obviously, we've won several awards here, and a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. And then, of course, we've also done, it's a free account, right? So, and institutionally, there you go. So, yeah. So hopefully you guys will get a good click on that, put in your email address, start to see it, and then you can join the platform here. They click the button, join right up at the corner here, and we will have, if you're an educator like Steve here is, You can join as an educator, and we also have merchandise. Click on that merchandise button. You can get a shirt, jacket, a hat, whatever you need. They're all right there for you. So sweater, vests, we got it all. So we're happy to help you out there, and we will grow this side of it too. You want a bucket hat, Steve? I think that's what they're. I think that's what we're
Gotta have one, Steve. Gotta have one for that Florida sun.
I love it. I love it. Glasses and jackets too. So shameless plug here, but it's out there. If you want to buy the jackets, they're already ready to go. So you can do that now. Steve, it's 9:51, about 9 minutes down the top of the hour. What are you thinking here at 10 o'clock? Trump has not stopped talking about it. He is still on the tarmac.
Yeah, I think they're going to hold them real careful. I mean, just based on the hostility that I saw in the media early as to who is he talking to and why don't we know that? Well, I mean, we do know there's not many people left in the Iranian government. So whoever he's talking to clearly is, is it, what was it in the Watergate? The deep, I don't know.
Deep throat. You can say it. It's all right.
Yeah, there you go. But speaking to somebody out there, so I'd love to see the follow through. And I think as one of the viewers' questions, do I wait? Why not? I mean, if we get concrete news that this is exactly moving forward, we hear confirmation out of Israel, then I think that you have a lot of opportunity to explore the upside. The whole first quarter has been highly negative. As negative as I would say, definitely in a 43-year career, it's up there in the top 5 as to how negative the market is. So if we begin to see that move to the sideline, there's a tremendous upside, I believe, that we could see. So I don't think smart money, if you're in the market and you've got money on the sideline, I think you can redeploy as the markets begin to show you the confirmation. Right now, I'm watching the NASDAQ. You had several lows that we've broken well below. That's now going to be strong resistance. So I'll be watching those levels very carefully. I want to see us get back into that zone before I would confirm a bottom being in. Yeah,
and I'm looking at how much cash is really on the sidelines, and Bloomberg is saying they're speculating somewhere between 7.2 and 7.7 trillion. I would say it's probably higher than that. That we're not maybe there's money that we don't know about that's sitting on the sidelines, crypto money that may go back in the stocks, whatever. That could be out there as well. Tick indicator now. Tick now, wow, up 880 here now as the markets are pushing higher. Q's now pushing higher. Dow up 900, up 2%. Nasdaq and the Q's all up 2% here, Steve.
Yeah, great point you make there, Steve. It could be, in fact, that a lot of the gold and silver move down has been money moving into the sideline, ready to redeploy into an equity market, which would be a growth play. And if oil suddenly does come off, inflation's not there, well, you might just see a safer world. So it takes some of the safe haven aspect out of gold and silver. I mean, after all, they just can't keep moving the way they've been moving in January, February.
Fitch now just came out and said that sustained high oil prices, here you go, will simultaneously weaken housing demand. Housing demand's pretty weak now as it is, Steve.
Wow. Come on. How much weaker can you get?
It's definitely a buyer's market right now.
A big area, in the America First, movement, a big area is going to be, hey, how can people afford houses here? It's, I don't know. Steve, I've said all along, this war broke out, gold and silver came off, interest rates went up, just the opposite to a typical move that I've seen in my long career. So something is rotten out there in the financial markets, something happening that I still have to get my hands around.
I agree. And that's what I've been complaining about is, if the world was really falling apart, gold and silver should go up. Us old guys should be saying, okay, what's going on here, right? But the truth is, it seems to be flipped around, right?
Right.
My philosophy is that I think that Russia is dumping gold in order to finance the war.
Oh, that would be, whoa, that would be big. But even you'd buy treasuries. That's what always happens. But yet interest rates globally have gone up. So
4.352 on the 10-year.
Yep. So, I mean, even in Europe and Japan, I mean, it doesn't make sense. So
Dollar CAD. Here you go, Steve. Dollar CAD just hit the high here.
Yeah, dollar CAD. Watch that one. That's on Northern Frontier. And it's if you don't want to trade currencies globally, you can keep it domestic. Mexico offers 7% interest rate. Canada, they're beginning to drop. So you could see dollar CAD on an upside play here easily.
That's a lot of loonie there you can get for $1.37 right now. Pull up a weekly chart on dollar CAD here, Steve. I mean,
a break point's 137.60 to the upside. That's the key level. So we'll have to see. I mean, right now the dollar will trade as a play based on this news, and I still see the dollar coming off. I don't have a dollar index right here in front of me.
There you go. I'll pull it up. Have it now.
99 and a quarter, roughly.
99.26.
Yep. So the 98 handle, 98.80, first level of support. Next one, the big one, will be 98.30 through 50. That's the zone where I'm looking to get back in.
Yeah, and you talk about this all the time that we say the dollar's high, but it's really not comparatively to history.
Yeah, I think the other way, dollar low, right? Everybody's talking about the dollar in the dirt, and when you look at it from a historical point of view, 25 years, the midpoint of the dollar's trading range is around 96.80. So you're slightly above. So those who like to play currencies, Steve, as you've met people over the weekend, then you've got to say, if this situation pans out, peace is achieved, Venezuela, we know South America moving more into the U.S. sphere, Cuba could easily make a deal with the United States, and that would be a great opening up of tourism from the U.S. Suddenly the dollar is going to be in a position that, quite honestly, again, 43 plus years trading front line, I have heard the dollar negative story for 43 years. So suddenly all the negatives that people throw out there, it's going to be tough for it to, it's very easily the dollar could begin a sustained move to the upside. Lots of levels to look at. I happen to be a king dollar believer. And I think over the course, the second half of 26, you will see it higher.
Energy Secretary Wright just said that for every barrel released, 1.2 barrels of oil will be returned through the SPR swaps.
Wow.
So, Steve, thank you. I appreciate that. China is dumping gold to buy oil. Again, I agree with that too. I think the price of gold had gone up, and I learned a very long time ago, Steve, from one of my mentors, Michael Stewart. You got to be careful when an asset is owned by institutions, when it's overwhelmingly owned by, because you never know when they're going to dump it, right? If you look at a stock like Microsoft, and if it's 80% institutionally owned, then you're at the whim of them, right? Not limited of what. Yeah. So same thing here. When gold is owned by every country in the world and lots of it, you have to worry about when they're going to dump it.
Absolutely, Steve. The whole thing about central banks buying of gold for the last 3-4 years, 5 years.
Oh God! Trump just said we'll send the National Guard to airports if ICE is not enough.
Okay, so there's your government response. I mean, I come from a day where the National Guard was sent into the post office when the post office went on strike long, long time ago. But
he has not stopped speaking now. Construction spending now down 0.3%. We were expecting up 0.1% because construction spending is slipping a little bit here, Steve.
Uncertainty.
Yes.
Not a good thing in the market. The sooner we can put an end to this, the better, Steve.
And I'll leave it at that. I agree with you, Steve, on that one. All right, for you. Oh, thank you so much for the number of viewers today. I love it. And Steve, appreciate you as well. And we'll see you right back here on Wednesday, my man.
Okay, Steve.
From all of you from Quasar Markets, thank you for watching. Click on that button. Go to quasarmarkets.com. Sign up. Appreciate you. See you later.